strange light played across the sky as Mcnd walked down the street. He had not, in fact, caused this dramatic effect. Oh no. The sickly light of the approaching storm only shrank him into deeper insignificance. One day, he would not be there at all, but at that moment he existed as a moving point in the suburban neighborhood landscape. Distinguished from an ant only by his humanoid form, he strode easily, with a slight slouch. As he stepped, the landscape seemed to smooth along, as if it were attached to a reel and invisible hands were cranking the scenery film in an endless cycle. And the audience couldn't tell which was moving, the man or the landscape. The light shuddered once, bizarrely. Mcnd walked on, unperturbed. He thrust his hand into his pocket and pulled out a globe of cotton candy. The artistic effect brought tears to his eyes. He transferred the globe to his hair and reached into his pocket again. He pulled out a small, striped notebook. Inside, he found a sketch of a chocolate muffin, and he briefly attempted to eat it, then sighed and gave up. He stuck the notebook into his sugary hair and dug into his pocket again. Finally, his whole face transformed into unbelievable exuberance. He cradled that little packet in the nest of his fingers, and for the first time he stopped walking. The scenery came to a still. As Mcnd strode along, he paid little attention to the familiar landscape while he began to think about that girl. Just as he wished she would somehow appear before him, came that voice. He stopped stock still and turned around, his eyes wide as if he had just been shot, a caricature of himself. But it was not her. No. But it was not all a dream. He simply did not know. Disbelieving, he stepped closer. Gently, he unscrewed the silver pegs that held the front half of her head to the back. He removed her face and stood looking at the inside of her head. He had not known so many ulterior motives could possibly exist beneath such a facade. In grim determination, he probed deeper into her skull. A headless octopus surfaced in the fountainous pool. He poked it aside, and finally realized the lowly paradoxes of the human mind. The rain was pouring, running in rivulets through his hair into his eyes. The skin he held in his hands felt cold and slimy like a hairless fish. He let it drop onto the sidewalk. The face was frozen, the lips soft and silent.